I guess I have like a sort of a fantasy of how it could happen, but like apocalypse in a beautiful way, where I think that like I imagine eventually that all the countries start to just fall apart, which which means they break down into small, manageable sized, almost nation states, but very, very small. And so, like, maybe a city like Helsinki size, I think is 500,000. Maybe that could be like a group, but much smaller, smaller groups. And I don't know. I think that would either that apocalypse makes that happen, and everybody sort of goes back into smaller groups, or we actually get smart enough that we realize that Homo sapiens survived for a long, long time because we were in small, manageable groups.
Yeah.
And then those groups got larger and larger, but then even still, there can be like negotiations, there can be alliances, there can be, but like one person in charge of 50 million or 500 million people is ridiculously unsustainable. So that's what needs to fracture. My logo for my work, because I used to call myself a witch doctor, my logo was like a gas mask with antlers. And so, I mean, I also could see the apocalyptic as sort of a return to a more ritual-based society. I don't know, I'm inventing a whole mythology with like these genetic engineer races, and in my mythology, a very radical transformation happens when these sapiens, who are not us but who are like us, when they cure death. And we're not far from that. We figured out how to do it with mice. We figured out how to reverse aging, or basically like aging happens to a certain point and then we can still it, and we're getting better at stilling it. And so, and that's for me is really interesting with religion, mythology, because immortality is this weird sort of poetic, mythological aim, but it's also attainable. And basically in my mythology, as soon as we cure death, that's when apocalypse happens. Because, I mean, death and cancer and overpopulation and forest fires and all of that is how we, even though we're ambitious and cancerous ourselves, we get managed. Removal of the human tumor.